you doing?
Reading
I know that, but what are you reading?
a book.
Well, I know it's a book. Okay, whatever.
Do you want to know about it?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
That's what I thought.
Okay, fine, tell me.
Well... Alright, so Sir Roland de Boys has recently died, leaving behind sons Oliver and Orlando. Since Oliver's the eldest son, he's inherited just about everything. This includes his responsibility of making sure his little bro finishes school and continues to live the kind of lifestyle he's become accustomed to. Oliver, however, treats his little bro like crap. He refuses to pay for Orlando's education and never gives the kid any kind of spending money. Also, he tells the local court wrestler it'd be a good idea to snap Orlando's neck. But Orlando doesn't know about this. Naturally, Orlando is ticked off that Oliver treats him so badly, and he's ready to throw down against his older brother. Instead though, he channels all of his pent-up anger into a wrestling match, where he beats the court wrestler to a bloody pulp. Orlando's wrestling skills catch the eye of a local girl named Rosalind, who has her own family drama to worry about. She's the daughter of Duke Sr., by the way, who used to rule over the French court, but he was overthrown by his snaky, backstabbing brother Duke Frederick. Because Rosalind's dad is living in exile in the Forest of Arden, Rosalind has been seen crashing at the palace with her cousin Celia. Kinda forgot to mention though that Celia is the daughter of that sneaky, backstabbing Duke Frederick. Yeah, but Rosalind thinks Orlando's like the dreamiest boy she's ever laid eyes on, and Orlando feels the same way about her. The two fall in love faster than you can make ramen noodles, and Rosalind gives Orlando back her necklace. Things kinda go downhill from there though, because Orlando finds out that his big brother Oliver is planning to burn his house down. So he runs away to the Forest of Arden. Since he's broke, he takes his old family servant Adam along for the adventure. And this is a good idea because Adam ponies up his entire life savings to help cover the cost of the road trip. Meanwhile, Duke Frederick decides that he doesn't like the fact that Rosalind is more popular than his daughter Celia, so Duke Frederick 86s that ass from his court. Rosalind decides to run away to the Forest of Arden, which apparently is the destination of choice for exiles. To avoid being the target of rapists and thieves, Rosalind decides that she'll dress as a boy and call herself Ganymede. Cousin Celia is so devoted that she decides to run away too, and she disguises herself as Ganymede's sister Aliena. And now, we cut to the Forest of Arden, where we meet Rosalind's dad, Duke Sr. He's a pretty happy-go-lucky guy for a banished duke, and he tells that Arden is a lot like the Garden of Eden, except for the fact that Arden is a lot colder and windier. Meanwhile, Orlando and his servant Adam are starving because they forgot to watch Man vs. Wild or something and have no idea how to find food in the forest. Adam passes out, and Orlando promises to find him some dinner. Luckily, Orlando stumbles upon Duke Sr. and his band of merry men, sitting down to a mouth-watering banquet. Orlando crashes the party and threatens to kill everyone if they don't give him something to eat, like right now. The Duke is all like, chill out and bring Adam too. Orlando and Adam make a ton of new friends at the banquet, including Melancholy, Jack, okay, whatever, we'll just call him Jock. On the cross-dressing front, things are good for Rosalind / Ganymede as she settles into the Forest of Arden. She meets a shepherd, Corin, who gives Rosalind a hot real estate tip about a cottage that comes with its own flock of sheep and plenty of land for grazing and stuff. Rosalind / Ganymede and Celia / Aliena don't waste any time going to the country. They buy the cottage and make friends with the locals. Among their new rustic pals are a lovesick shepherd named Silvius and the woman he loves, Phoebe. Yet, love is definitely in the air. Rosalind discovers poems or something stuck to trees that a mysterious lover has penned. The poems are pretty awful and they're full of silly cliches about love, but Rosalind doesn't care when she finds out the poems have been written by none other than Dreamy Orlando. Before we know it, Rosalind bumps into Orlando in the forest. Instead of coming clean about her true identity, she stays in her Ganymede disguise and becomes pals with Orlando. That way, she can pump Orlando for information about how he really feels about her. Orlando confesses to Ganymede that he's head over heels for Rosalind. Ganymede then generously offers to pretend to be Rosalind, so that Orlando can practice all of his best moves in the romance department. Orlando, who has no idea Ganymede is actually the girl he loves, takes the bait and even participates in a pretend wedding. No. As it turns out, Orlando is actually under the impression that romance should look something like a sappy 14th century Italian Hallmark card. So Rosalind / Ganymede pretty much has her work cut out for her. She rolls up her sleeves and teaches Orlando how to be a good boyfriend / future husband or whatever without ever revealing her true identity. Meanwhile, the local shepherdess, Phoebe, has fallen in love with Ganymede and wants to marry him. Also, Touchstone has managed to find a not-so-bright country girl, Audrey, who is willing to get hitched. The action comes to a head when Rosalind/Ganymede bumps into Orlando's mean brother, Oliver, in the forest. We learn that Oliver came to the forest to kill his little bro, but when Orlando saved his life from a ferocious lion, Oliver repented and decided not to kill his kid brother. This is kind of good news, because Oliver and Celia fall in love about 2 minutes after meeting. I really don't understand how things can happen that fast, but whatever, it's Shakespeare. Seeing Oliver and Celia so happy makes Orlando sad. Even though it's been fun pretend romancing Ganymede, Orlando says he can't live another day without the real Rosalind. The next day, everyone gathers around in the forest. Ganymede enters and makes Silvius, Phoebe, and Orlando promise to do whatever he says. Orlando must swear to marry Rosalind if Ganymede can produce her. Phoebe must promise to marry Silvius if she decides she doesn't want to marry Ganymede. Silvius must swear that he will marry Phoebe if Phoebe will have him. When Rosalind whips off her Ganymede costume and reveals her true identity, her plan falls neatly into place. Before all of the couples get a chance to smash wedding cakes into each other's faces, Orlando's brother, Jack DuBois, not to be confused with Melancholy Jock, Jack, whatever, up with the news that Duke Frederick has decided to give back Duke's senior dukedom. Apparently, Frederick entered the forest ready to kill his brother, but met a religious man along the way and experienced a sudden conversion. Like I said before, things kind of happen fast, so just kind of stay with me if you can. Duke Sr. can't wait to return to court and promise to restore all the exiles to their proper social stations, including his new son-in-law, Orlando, who will inherit his dukedom. For now, though, he says that everyone should party like it's 1599. And they pretty much live happily ever after. I mean, I guess except for Jock, who decides to hang out by himself in a cave.
What you reading?
What the f?
That book is so much better than the ones we're reading in AP Lit.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm reading it. It's actually a pretty funny love story, and it's one of my favorite Shakespearean plays I've ever read. It talks about love and the human experience, which would have gone perfectly with that everyman crap. The symbolism is vast. Let's see. Like Orlando's poems in Ganymede, and it's actually kind of funny that he did that. I still can't believe that Rosalind went that long in Ganymede too. But more importantly, it's fun to actually read. It's a lot better than Bugzilla, Crimea River, and the Salem Whore Trials. Come on, Miss Abel, do it for the children. I'm just trying to see this baby pop up in next year's curriculum, so that the kids don't have to put up with the same garbage that I had to. As You Like It is an amazing comedy full of a ton of literary devices and stuff, and I definitely recommend it to everyone. I think it's a lot better than Kafka's Metamorphosis because of 5 reasons. 1, I can relate way more to the characters in this book than in the ones in Metamorphosis, simply because of the interaction between the characters. Gregor's interaction with his family was kind of one-dimensional and was really hard to really grasp the concept of the character relationships, therefore kind of hard to figure out their true traits when they interacted with others. Number 2, the symbols were more than just one-dimensional. You know, Gregor's bug body kind of represented the shell that Gregor lived in, and that's kind of it. The different symbols, like the poems and Rosalind's disguise, symbolize a bunch of different things, like love and homosexuality and a bunch of other stuff. Number 3, the story is obviously way more engaging and way more funny. Number 4, Shakespeare is a lot more clever than Kafka, at least in the comical sense, which is a lot easier to write about in my opinion. And then number 5, the literary techniques, I think, kind of lack a variety in Kafka's Metamorphosis, and that kind of made it boring for me to read here in this book. It was a lot more fun.